My boss fired me because I refused to sleep with him. I used to work as a digital marketing manager at a mid-sized tech company in Austin, Texas. The company had about 200 employees and developed software for other businesses. My boss, let's call him Brad, 38M, was the VP of marketing and had been married to a woman named Jennifer for 12 years. They had 2 small children, which makes everything even more disturbing. Brad had always been weird with me. From day one, he made comments about my appearance, called unnecessary one-on-one meetings, and always found excuses to touch my arm or shoulder while talking to me. I, 27F, always kept things professional, but he was clearly testing boundaries. The turning point came 3 months ago at the company's holiday party. Brad was visibly drunk and cornered me near the hotel bar. He literally said, "Sarah, you know I've always liked you. How about we go out to dinner this week, just the 2 of us?" When I politely declined, he got more persistent. "Come on, you know this could be good for your career. I can do a lot for you." I was disgusted. I said no again and tried to walk away, but he grabbed my arm and whispered, "Think about it, Sarah. Do you really want to be just a manager forever?" That following Monday, Brad acted like nothing had happened. But I knew something was off. He started assigning me impossible projects with unrealistic deadlines, excluded me from important meetings, and questioned every decision I made in front of colleagues. 2 weeks later, he called me into his office and made one final offer. "Sarah, you need to understand that our company values employees who are collaborative. Maybe you should reconsider your position on that dinner." When I told him that was harassment and that I could report him to HR, he laughed and said, "Go ahead. My sister-in-law Lisa is the head of HR. Good luck." I had no idea Lisa was his sister-in-law. My heart sank because I finally understood the dirty game he was playing. That Friday, Brad fired me. The official reason was budget cuts and department restructuring, but he told me to my face, "Maybe next time you'll be smarter about career opportunities." I left furious and humiliated. But here's where the story gets interesting, because Brad had no idea who he was messing with. You see, I'm not just an ordinary marketing manager. Before working at that company, I spent 5 years at a private investigation firm in Houston. My former boss, Marcus, taught me everything about digital investigation, data analysis, and how to uncover the things people want to keep hidden. I switched to marketing because I wanted a more normal life, but I never lost those skills. Brad made the fatal mistake of underestimating a woman who knew exactly how to destroy his life. Step 1, gather evidence of harassment. Thankfully, our company used Slack for internal communication, and I had taken screenshots of several inappropriate messages Brad had sent over the months. Nothing too explicit, but clearly inappropriate. Comments about my clothes, invitations to work dinners at expensive restaurants, and some late-night messages unrelated to work. But that wasn't enough. I needed more. Step 2, investigate Brad's personal life. This might sound extreme, but he had ruined my career, and I was determined to uncover every dirty secret he had. I started with social media. Brad was relatively careful online, but his wife Jennifer wasn't. She constantly posted on Facebook and Instagram about their perfect life. Lavish vacations, fancy dinners, pictures of their kids at expensive private schools. But some things didn't add up. Based on Brad's salary, which I knew from my access to company data while I worked there, they shouldn't have been able to afford the lifestyle they flaunted. Their house in Westlake was worth at least $2 million, or their cars were a BMW X7 and a Mercedes E-Class. And Jennifer posted photos of handbags worth more than most people's monthly salaries. That led me to dig deeper. Using techniques I'd learned at my previous job, I started pulling public records, property histories, and even credit card data from public data breaches. What I found was shocking. Brad had been embezzling money from the company for at least 3 years. He had created several fake consulting companies that provided services to the firm, but those companies were just shell accounts he controlled. He approved payments for services that were never rendered and pocketed the money. But there was more. Brad was also having an affair with a coworker named Amanda, who worked in sales. I found evidence he had booked hotel rooms for them, paid for fake conference trips, and even bought her expensive gifts using the company credit card. Now I had enough ammunition to completely destroy Brad's life, but I had to be strategic in how I used it. Step 3, execute the revenge. First, I compiled all the financial fraud evidence into a detailed 47-page report. I included screenshots of bank accounts, suspicious payment records, and even social media photos of Brad and Amanda together on business trips that were clearly personal. I sent this report anonymously to 3 people: the company's CEO, the chief accountant, and a contact I had at the FBI who specialized in corporate financial crimes. For Brad's wife, I prepared a separate package. I printed all the evidence of the affair, including photos, hotel receipts, and even WhatsApp messages I recovered through a data breach. I also included proof of the financial fraud, showing how Brad was stealing from the company to fund their luxurious lifestyle. I dropped this package at their doorstep on a Sunday morning, knowing Jennifer would be home with the kids. Step 4, the fallout. Hell broke loose on Monday. I got a call from Marcus, my old boss at the investigation firm, saying the FBI had contacted him to verify some of the investigative techniques mentioned in the anonymous report. Apparently, they took it very seriously. On Tuesday, Jennifer posted a single message on Facebook. "Sometimes, the person you trust the most is the one who betrays you the worst. I'm taking a break from social media." She deleted all her previous posts and changed her relationship status to "It's complicated." On Wednesday, I got a call from a former coworker saying Brad had been escorted out of the building by security. Apparently, federal auditors had arrived early that morning and confiscated all computers and documents from the marketing department. On Thursday, the story hit the local news. "Tech company executive under investigation for $500K corporate fraud" was the headline in the Austin Business Journal. The article said the FBI was investigating a long-running embezzlement scheme. On Friday, I got a message on LinkedIn from a headhunter saying my old company was desperately looking for a new marketing manager and asking if I'd be interested in returning. The irony was delicious. Step 5, the consequences. 2 weeks later, Brad was formally charged with corporate fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. The total embezzled amount was estimated at $1.3 million over 4 years. He faced up to 20 years in prison. Jennifer filed for divorce and requested full custody of the children. She also sued Brad for marital asset dissipation, since he used stolen money to fund their lifestyle. Amanda, the co-worker he had the affair with, was also fired after it was discovered she knew about the scheme and benefited from it. She lost her professional license and was named as a co-conspirator in the federal investigation. The company nearly went bankrupt from the scandal. They lost 3 major clients and had to lay off 40% of the staff. The company was eventually sold for a fraction of its original value. Lisa, Brad's sister-in-law and the HR director, was also fired after it was revealed she had covered up multiple sexual harassment complaints against Brad over the years. Step 6, my new life. Meanwhile, I was thriving. The CEO of the new company that acquired my former employer offered me a position as marketing director, with a salary 40% higher than my previous one. They said they were impressed by my professional integrity and ability to identify systemic issues. I also got offers from 3 other companies that had heard about the situation through the grapevine. Apparently, the story of a woman fired for refusing to sleep with her boss, who then exposed corporate corruption, turned me into something of a heroine in Austin's business circles. I chose to work for a tech startup that offered me significant equity and full creative freedom. My new boss is an incredible woman who values transparency and integrity above all else. Step 7, the end of the story. Brad ended up taking a plea deal to avoid trial. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison and ordered to pay $2.1 million in restitution. Jennifer kept the house in the divorce but had to sell the luxury cars and take the kids out of private school. Amanda moved to another city and now works as a sales clerk at a department store. She lost everything: her home, career, and reputation. Lisa is suing the former company for wrongful termination, but I doubt she'll win, given the evidence that she covered up sexual harassment. And me, I'm living my best life. My new company is growing fast, my salary is the best I've ever had, and I recently started dating an amazing lawyer I met at a tech conference. More importantly, I've become an informal mentor to other women dealing with workplace harassment. Several people have reached out to me since the story went public, and I've been helping them document evidence and find legal resources. The moral of the story? Never underestimate a woman you tried to destroy, especially one who knows exactly how to uncover all your dirty secrets and use them against you. Brad thought he could intimidate me and ruin my career because I refused to sleep with him. Instead, he lost everything: his freedom, his family, his career, and his reputation. Sometimes justice takes time, but when it arrives, it hits hard. I don't regret a thing. He created this situation through years of predatory behavior and crime. I simply gave him the consequences he deserved.
Comment. What would you do in this situation? If you liked this video, don't forget to like and share so we can bring you more stories like this. Keep an eye out for more stories. Hope you have a good day.